Story, Part 1, A New Apartment, A New Start. I was 22 years old when this happened. I had just moved into my very first apartment in upstate New York. It wasn't anything fancy, just a small one-bedroom on the second floor of an old brick building, but it was mine, my first real taste of independence. Of course, like anyone moving into a new place, I needed furniture. And like a lot of broke 20-something-year-olds, I went straight to Craigslist. I figured I'd find a couch, maybe a coffee table, something cheap but decent enough to fill the empty space in my living room. Part 2. The Craigslist. Ad. Scrolling through the listings one night, I came across a couch that looked perfect. The pictures made it look almost brand new. Gray fabric, clean cushions, barely any wear, and the price? Only $100. It seemed like a steal. The seller had left an email for contact, Mexican Poppy, hotmail.com. The name struck me as odd, a little creepy even. But I told myself not to judge. Craigslist was full of weird usernames. So I sent him a polite email. Hi, I'm interested in the couch. Is it still available? Part 3. The Unsettling Emails. The reply came fast. Within 5 minutes, actually. He said the couch was still available, he'd be happy to sell it, and then he immediately asked for my address. That stopped me. Why would he need my address? I didn't want a stranger showing up at my door, so I suggested the obvious. I could just come pick it up myself. But instead of agreeing, he kept insisting it would be easier if he delivered it. He emailed me again and again, pushing the idea that he should come to my place. My gut told me something wasn't right. I stopped replying. Part 4. Too good to resist. The next day, he emailed me one last time. This time, he included his own address. And here's the thing. I should have walked away right there. But I was stubborn, and I still really needed a couch. So I told myself, it's probably nothing, just an awkward guy. I'll go check it out. It was a Saturday evening when I got into my old van and drove out. Part 5. The House. The address led me to a small residential block. Every house on the street looked pretty normal, except his. His house was noticeably smaller, darker, and looked like it hadn't been maintained in years. The porch light was flickering, and the blinds in the front window were crooked. Still, I walked up and rang the bell. A middle-aged man answered the door almost immediately. He wore a baseball cap low over his eyes and had this too big smile on his face. "Come on in," he said warmly. Something about his tone made me hesitate, but I stepped inside anyway. Part 6. The Couch. The living room was dimly lit, cluttered with random objects. Old newspapers, empty bottles, some broken lamps stacked in a corner. And there it was. The couch. Except, it wasn't the same couch from the photos. The cushions were torn, there were stains across the fabric, and it looked like something you'd find on the side of the road. I pointed this out, saying, this doesn't look like the pictures you posted." He just grinned. "Oh, don't worry about that. I'll lower the price. Or maybe..." He paused. "Maybe I'll just give it to you. For free. As long as you give me something in return." His hand rested firmly on my shoulder as he said it. Part 7. The Escape. My heart dropped. I forced a nervous laugh, shrugged his hand off, and quickly said, "No thanks, I'll pass." I walked straight toward the door, trying not to look panicked. He didn't try to stop me, but I could feel his eyes burning into the back of my head as I left. Once I got into my van, I locked the doors immediately and drove away, barely breathing until I was miles from his street. I thought that was the end of it. I was wrong. Part 8. The Nighttime Sounds. That same night, I was lying in bed watching TV, trying to shake off the weirdness of the whole encounter. And then, I heard it. The sound of heavy footsteps on my porch. I muted the TV instantly, listening hard. The footsteps stopped right at my front door. Then, the sound of my doorknob being rattled. Slowly, carefully, I froze. My heart slammed against my ribs. I crept toward the peephole, but when I looked, no one was there. Part 9. The backyard. Just when I thought maybe I imagined it, I heard it again. The distinct creak of my backyard gate opening, then closing. Someone was behind my apartment. I grabbed my phone and dialed 911 with shaking hands. As I waited for the dispatcher, I heard it again, the rattle of a doorknob, this time at my back door. Whoever it was, they were trying every possible way to get in. I shouted through the door, "The police are on their way!" For a few seconds, silence. Then I heard the gate creak open and slam shut again. And then, nothing. Part 10. The aftermath. The police arrived within minutes. They searched the area, but of course whoever it was had already disappeared. I told them everything, from the Craigslist ad to the strange man's behavior to the footsteps on my porch. The officer looked at me seriously and said, "You did the right thing calling us. But if I were you, I'd think about moving. If he followed you home once, he might come back." Part 11. 1 month later. It's been a month since that night. Nothing else has happened. But every night when I go to bed, I find myself listening, waiting. I can't look at Craigslist anymore without thinking about that man, his smile, and how easily I might have ended up as another missing person headline. And deep down, I know this wasn't just bad luck. He found me through Craigslist. He invited me into his home, and then he followed me back to mine. I'll never forget the sound of that doorknob rattling. Hope you have enjoyed the reading. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.